Coronavirus disease, the virus that hit the Earth since 2019, is still and essentially attacking and taking many fatalities. Initially, it was still assumed that the virus was just a common cold, but the allegations were false. Entered in Indonesia on 3rd March 2020, the community to conglomerates got a lot of bad impacts of the presence of this virus. Until now, Indonesia has experienced a decline in health and creative economy. Standing here I am to give all of my perceptions about the government business of handling COVID-19. My name is Anjar Dwipaningtyas and welcome to my speech. From more than 500,000 active cases of COVID increases makes all sectors of society increasingly restless. It's no longer about PSBB, panic buying, self-isolations, and others, but it's about survival and the future of the nations. Having a government that is responsive enough in fighting this pandemic does not bring Indonesia into a country whose COVID decline rate is running well. Almost 2 years we are fighting together. But what the power of our efforts in combat is still not enough to counter the growing spread. Many policies and regulations that must be adhered to by the community. Application of health protocols, social and physical distancing, restriction on working hours, closure of shops or place to eat, and many more. Does all these efforts make the number of COVID decreases in Indonesia? Of course, very few and hardly even cases of decline. As we can see, not only in Indonesia, all countries in the world continue to increase until the death rate and the negative numbers divide from each other. The world will always be on alert. Therefore, we as a society must continue to comply and obey all regulations and directives that have been given by the government. If the number of increases cannot be turned into a decrease, at least the mindset and the lifestyle that we must change. Now, we move to the next government regulations, namely the enforcement of restrictions on community activities. In Indonesia, we call it PPKM. It's a little bit like PSBB actually. It's just that the condition is getting worse, makes the government have to issue stricter regulations. Many people consider the implementation of PPKM in Indonesia reaped a lot of controversy. If we look at the small communities whose income depends on a salary per day, Indonesia's economy is also the second victim in this PPKM problem. Many traders were forcibly closed and ended up clashing with the authorities. This has actually put the good name of our country threatened. Police officers, task force COVID, and so on were only obeying orders, but they didn't realize that what they threatened was a group of them as well. We grow together, we eat together, but this criminalization is undeniable. Critical sake, the government can apply the rules. It is good intention so our country can fight pandemics together. But one thing that always reaps controversy is when the government only gives directions without solution and assistance. The impact of the pandemic can be felt together, but the needs of every human being are different. There are people who WFH, but income remains the way. And not only few people who trade and WFH are threatened with layoffs and forced to roll out because there is no income. So sadly, seeing our Indonesia that used to be its people can prosper and succeed, but now it is destitute. Implementation of PPKM in my city, Bandar Lampung, went very well. The people of Lampung are very obedient and comply with the new existing regulations. Until finally, the road closures and light outages in Bandar Lampung city have been lifted. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID is still around us. One way to overcome this is by the increasing body immunity and changing the lifestyle to be cleaner and healthier. Around the beginning of December 2020, Indonesia has received vaccine of 1.2 million doses. What are you waiting for? Vaccine is a solution provided by the government to combat COVID-19. Let's break the vaccine and tell the others that vaccines are not a terrible thing. Dare to step up, dare to act, and dare to influence the good. I am Anjar Dwipaningtyas. Thank you for your attention and goodbye.